Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here with the HTC 10, HTC's latest flagship device. No, not the M10, they left out the M, it's just the HTC 10. Now, I have used this for about a month and a half now, using my daily driver for a while, have lots of notes and thoughts on it, so let's get started on the review. Now, I first want to talk about the build of the HTC 10, and it is one of my favorite things about the device. Now, they've kind of kept the same build notes from previous devices. On this device, they have a curved back, which is comfortable in your hand. It does have a bit of weight to it, which adds to the premium feel to it. It is all metal unibody design, so it does have some weight to it, so make note of that. Now, you do have 3 capacitive buttons on the front as well: back, home, and recent apps. And that home button also acts as a fingerprint scanner, which I've had no complaints about. Occasionally, it'll say, oh, you need to cover it differently, try again, just like so, but you need to make sure you just put it on the right spot, and it unlocks it almost every time. On the bottom of the device, you have a USB Type-C slot to charge the device, and it does have quick charge capabilities, a microphone, and a speaker that's at the bottom. Now, also I want to make note is that earpiece also acts as a speaker as well, so you get sound coming out the earpiece along with the bottom of the device. Now, it's not as good as front-facing speakers on, let's say, the Nexus 6P. However, it is better than average, especially because you have sound coming out to different areas of the phone. Now, at the top of the device, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack. On the side here, you have your SIM card slot, you have your volume rockers, and a power button with a lot of texture to it. So just make note of that. It does have a lot of texture, which is easy to distinguish. It's just very rough. Now, on the left side, you have your micro SD expandable storage slot as well. On the back, you got your camera and your flash. One more thing I have mentioned in a previous video is that Vibrate on this device is very strong. So just kind of make note of that. Listen. So here it is, just on a table, vibrating. It is just very strong, very loud. When it's in your pocket, you'll be able to hear the vibrate if you're in a more quiet spot. It's also important to note that with that curved back, that yes, it's a little bit more comfortable, but when you're using it when it's like this, if you're touching the edges, it will rotate just a little bit. When you're touching the middle, it really doesn't. But kind of when you're using the device, if you press on Play Store in that corner, you'll see it does tilt just a little bit because of that round back. Now, when it comes to the display on the HTC 10, it has a 5.2-inch 2560 by 1440 LCD display. And overall, color quality is very good. However, there's one thing I really don't like about it, and that would be how bright it gets. It could definitely get brighter. So if I turn it up all the way, even outside, there's definitely times when I'm like, oh, I still can't really see it if it's in direct sunlight or if I'm outside. But other than that, I'm very pleased with this display. The HTC 10 has an embedded 3000 milliamp hour battery, and when it comes to battery life, it has been fairly inconsistent. So right here, 4 hours and 46 minutes screen on time, very good. And swiping over, 3 hours and 42 minutes, which is a little bit below average for me. I use the device all the time, so always sending emails, games, just a mix of just about everything. Here's 3 hours and 33 minutes. So you'll see 3 hours and 33 minutes compared to 4 hours and 46 minutes is a very big jump. And of course, there are definitely factors contributing to that. And then here's 4 hours and 40 minutes. So overall, you're usually going to get a little bit over 4 hours screen on time every time, which is good. It generally will get me through the day or almost through the day for me. Let's move on to that 12 megapixel camera on the back, which does have optical image stabilization, laser autofocus, and I'm very pleased with it. So it's not the best camera out there. However, it does a very good job in all lighting conditions in any scenario you throw at it. Overall, pictures come out very good. It's a good point and shoot. You can just pull it out of your pocket, snap a picture, and you're pretty confident it's going to look good. One other thing I want to make note of is that focusing can be a little slow at times if it's on closer objects. So if I grab my mouse right here, kind of go up to it and try and focus, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to actually focus on there, but that's really about it. Especially in lower light situations, that focusing struggles just a bit when it's a closer picture. But pictures turn out great in general, whether you're outside, inside, lower light. I'm very happy with it, so good job, HTC. That was one of the biggest problems with your devices in the past. And no, it is not the best out there just yet, but your average camera picture taker is going to be pleased with it. And yes, there is a pro mode as well, which you can change a bunch of things. You have raw capture, for those of you that like to edit photos, ISO changing, white balance, focusing as well. You can customize a lot of different things, HDR mode on, off. And I do have a video test I posted on another video that I made. I'll link to that in the description if you want to check out that video, my 72-hour check-in video. And then, of course, that front-facing camera is very good as well. Just overall, really no complaints other than that close-up focusing. Now, the HTC 10 is a Snapdragon 820 processor, which is the latest at the moment, coupled with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and performance has been great. Absolutely no qualms at all. The Snapdragon 820 in general, I've been very pleased with. No matter what device it's been on, I honestly get very little hiccups, if at all, even when I'm high-end gaming. Anything like that, it seems to run very smooth. Let's do a little multitasking here if I want to switch to the Play Store right there real quick. Let's go ahead and go back to the calculator. You'll see just getting to that recent apps, it goes down very quickly. The animation is very smooth. And then we can go into another app, opens on up, and loads back up. Let's go back to that game real quick. But just overall, very snappy, very quick, especially with the software. It's well optimized and not nearly as intrusive. And of course, speaking of software, let's get to that Sense UI. The HTC 10 runs Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow to be exact, which is the latest at the moment. So great, their flagship is on the latest software. We'll see how quickly it gets N in the near future. I will keep you guys updated with that. Now, in general, it does run Sense UI over on top of Android, and they have their own customizations. You'll see here, though, this looks pretty stock. The quick toggles right here. There's a nice flashlight one, a calculator one as well. Jumping into settings, you'll see it's completely customized, but you can personalize it. So you can kind of change the look and color, the theme. You'll see wallpapers, icons, sounds. There's an entire theme that you can change, and there's a store right here. So you see there's a baseball one, just various ones within the store, and then wallpapers right there as well. Now going back, you can also change the accent color as well. So let's go ahead and hit edit current theme. And then what we're going to do is you'll see color right there. So you can change the accents to a bunch of various ones, and of course you can have a custom one as well if you'd like to choose your specific color. So overall, lots of customization options in terms of themes, which is nice to see. Now the home launcher has your standard pages, and you have Blinkfeed right here, which you can add a bunch of various things. You'll see news stories. If I go ahead and swipe over, you can add various things. So here's content that you can add, calendar, you can add Facebook, Twitter, a bunch of different things, News Republic. So there's various things you can add to Blinkfeed. I don't use it too much in general. However, it doesn't bog down the system at all when you refresh it. So nothing like that. No performance qualms with that. Going into our app drawer, you'll see you have a pagented page right here. You can obviously manage apps. You can change your grid size as well if you want to add more apps to your app drawer. Now I want to give you an idea of what the speakers sound like right now, and also talk about something software related as well. So they're going to relate. So here we go. Like I mentioned, you have, I believe, the highs coming out the earpiece right here, and then the lows coming out the bottom speaker right here. And yes, if I block one, it's going to sound muffled. And then if I block both of them right here, it's very muffled. But of course, they are separate speakers coming out with different noise, and it gets fairly loud. I do wish it would get a little bit louder, and I mean the reason I say that's because I'll listen to music when I'm in the shower, and when music plays, it's been louder on other devices. But quality is definitely top-notch on this device. Now, here's what I wanted to talk about software-wise, and that would be with the speakers, it uses boom sound. And you'll see right here, you have HTC boom sound, this little notification right here with Dolby. You can change it to music mode, and then you have theater mode as well with the internal speaker. So you can quickly change it like there, but one thing that's kind of annoying is that notification. Now, for example, here is Pandora loaded up. I'm listening to music. Now, what happens when you change the song, whenever it pauses music or the sound goes away, that notification continuously disappears and reappears. So if I skip the song, see how it went away and reappeared. It's kind of annoying, and it just gets in the way, and it moves your notifications around. It's a little annoying, and there's really no way to actually get rid of this specific notification. Now, with that being said, HTC Sense is going in the right direction in terms of it looking very similar to stock. They're not making too many customizations to the OS, and I do like some of the ones that they do make. Their settings screen could get a revamp, could look a little bit better, but hey, like I mentioned, you can customize it, which is good to see. And finally, with the software, HTC 10 uses the short icons on your lock screen that are on the HTC Sense launcher. So if you install a different launcher, such as Nova Launcher, for example, and you apply it, it's still going to keep whatever 4 apps you have down here on your lock screen. So you can technically customize them. However, you do need to install a separate launcher if you want to use a different launcher and have different icons down on your home screen. Alright, so I just want to finish the video off with some final thoughts by me. Just using this as a daily driver overall, I've been very happy with it. I could definitely potentially see myself using it as my daily driver. I'll let you know pretty soon what I will be deciding on now that new devices are kind of slowing down and I can actually make a video about this. But overall, solid batteries, solid camera. Performance is very good. It kind of is up to you if you like Sense UI or not, but it's nice. It's on the latest operating system. So overall, it's a solid device, a very good competitor for the Galaxy S7. So good job, HTC. you're definitely on the right path into starting to compete with Samsung once again. But anyways, that's about it. That's my full review of the HTC 10. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. All links in the description video below. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.